right now on News Channel 8 at 6.
Tonight, breaking news. The search for a machete-wielding robber ends in a crash. We'll have a live report.
Plus, an 8 on your side investigation may lead to change. Tonight, what one lawmaker wants to do to make sure registered sex offenders don't become massage therapists. Good evening. I'm Keith Kate.
I'm Gail Sierens. Thank you for joining us this evening. We begin tonight with the very latest on that breaking news we've been reporting out of Pinellas County. Police are on the scene of a crash in Clearwater as they tried to arrest a man suspected of robbing stores with a machete. News Channel's Yolanda Fernandez joins us now live from there to explain how all of this unfolded. Yolanda?
Well, Gail, right now, a power crews are on the scene trying to repair the damage to a utility pole because it's caused a minor outage in this neighborhood for folks who live here. But all of this unfolded just after 4 this afternoon. Clearwater police got a tip and were on the trail of a man they believe is wanted for several robberies. When police tried to make a traffic stop, the driver took off through this Clearwater neighborhood, and he ended up crashing a few blocks later before police caught up to him. Police believe this is the man seen here in this surveillance video brandishing a machete. They say he robbed 2 stores in the last 3 days, cutting the clerk at the second store. Isabella Tagaras and her brother were inside the house across the street when the pickup truck crashed.
I saw the car rolling, and then all the police come out with their guns, like down low, looking up high and down low, and then I see the cops arrest them.
Police have not released the name of the driver yet. They say they took him to the hospital to be checked out for minor injuries. He did have a woman in the car with him. They're not releasing her name either. She was not injured, and we don't know what her involvement is in all of this. Police also say that they believe that this man may be a suspect in 2 robberies that occurred today in Largo at a Lowe's as well as a CVS drug store. We don't know if he had the machete with him. Live in Clearwater, Yolanda Fernandez, News Channel 8.
An 8 on your side investigation recently uncovered a number of registered sex offenders who are licensed to practice as massage therapists by the state of Florida. Now 2 state lawmakers say that's just wrong and it is time to take action. 8 on your side investigator Mark Douglas tells us what they have in mind.
Michael McIntosh molested a client on his massage table, became a registered sex offender, and found a new employer without losing his state massage license.
Did your employers know you were a registered sex offender when they hired you?
Excuse me.
Registered sex offender Eric Antunes is also a licensed massage therapist. After his child porn conviction, Antunes can't be alone with his own daughter. But Florida's Department of Health says he can be with yours anytime he wants. The agency recently renewed his massage license.
Everything's under investigation, so I'm not going to say anything just in case.
And then there's Ronald Brunius. He's in jail awaiting trial on a charge of sexually battering a woman during a massage. Brunius has been investigated by law enforcement 3 times before based on similar allegations. But the Department of Health says his state massage license is still good as gold.
Well, I think you did a good job of getting our attention, Mark.
State Senator Jack Latvala says awarding massage licenses to sex offenders makes no sense. But the Florida Department of Health tells him it lacks authority to weed them out.
Frankly surprised that there wasn't the ability in the statutes already to do background checks on applicants to be massage therapists. I was doubly surprised when I found out that there's not the statutory authority for the Department of Health to suspend the license of massage therapists who are charged with a crime or convicted of a crime, even one of a sexual nature.
Senator Latvala says it's time to close those loopholes, and he's working with the Department of Health to change the law. He's also working with State Representative Carl Zimmerman, who first alerted us about Michael McIntosh and started calling for tighter regulations months ago.
It puts a black eye on the entire profession, and it supports the misperception that a lot of people have that it is a sex-type business.
Perhaps by putting the light on the issue, as you have done, and as we will do with this bill, we'll get them to treat that a little more seriously.
The Department of Health tells me it does currently have the power to suspend or revoke the massage licenses of sex offenders and other criminals. But we haven't seen that happen to any of the 8 registered sex offenders we uncovered in our investigation. In fact, Here's proof that two of the people we just told you about, Ronald Brunius and Eric Antunes, still have clear and active licenses with no complaints or discipline on their records. And Michael McIntosh voluntarily gave up his license only after we started asking questions. The question today is whether these two lawmakers can put together some legislation that will help or perhaps make the Florida Department of Health do its job and keep these sex offenders from being licensed massage therapists.
Well, I guess that's the key, considering they have the opportunity, the health department right now, to make a change if they want to, but it's going to require more law, more legalese to make sure the health department does what the health department should be doing.
That's what they're telling Senator Latvala. They don't have the power. They don't have the power to do background checks. It's the honor system.
Yeah.
It's up to you to report whether you've committed a crime.
All right. Keep us posted. Thank you, Mark.
Will do.
A Tampa man accused of giving his girlfriend a drug that caused her to abort their unborn child is in federal court. John Andrew Weldon faced a sentence of life in prison before accepting a plea deal in this case. In December, U.S. District Judge Richard Lazara threw out a plea deal with Weldon because the judge questioned if the government has proven one dose of this drug can cause the death of an unborn child. Well, today, government witnesses testified even low doses of the drug Cytotec can cause a woman to abort a fetus early in the pregnancy. The defense says it has expert witnesses who will testify the drug alone did not cause the death of the child.
You have to look at the science. What has been studied? What does the research show about this bill? Who's looked at it? What's the quality of their research?
The hearing is expected to wrap up tomorrow with the defense experts before Judge Lazara renders his decision.
A man will spend the next 4 years in jail after pleading guilty today to manslaughter charges in a deadly car crash. Cameron Bosley was also sentenced to 10 years probation. Michael Graziano was killed in the crash in Pinellas County in 2012. He is the younger brother of John Graziano, the Iraqi war veteran who was brain damaged in a car crash involving Hulk Hogan's son in 2007.
They're accused of cashing in after one of America's darkest days. Authorities say more than 100 retired New York City police and firefighters are involved in a massive Social Security disability fraud. News Channel 8's Chip Osowski joins us now live from Odessa, where deputies picked up one of the suspects. And obviously, if these allegations are true, this is pretty troubling.
Well, it certainly is, Gail. 60-year-old Louis Hurtado is a retired New York police officer, now runs this Odessa karate studio. Deputies picked him up yesterday on a warrant from New York. Louis Hurtado made his first appearance before a judge this afternoon.
Do you have the funds, first of all, sir, to hire an attorney yourself?
Yes, sir.
Hurtado also told the judge he would not fight extradition back to New York. Investigators say he is one of 100 others involved in a huge Social Security disability scam. Detectives say more than half the recipients are cashing in on fraudulent claims for PTSD after the September 11th terror attacks on the World Trade Center. The scam spanned more than 2 decades, and authorities believe the police officers and firefighters were coached on how to behave during doctor visits in order to qualify for full disability benefits.
This fraud not only forced federal taxpayers to finance the lifestyles of New York scammers, it also took away, importantly, from the already limited resources we have for people who actually suffer from psychiatric disabilities. And that includes, of course, the brave first responders who ran toward the fires on September 11 and who now suffer from post-traumatic stress disorder.
Hurtado runs this karate studio in Odessa and actually paired up with the sheriff's office a few years ago to offer domestic violence defense training to women. Sheriff Chris Nacco says if these allegations are true, this is a sad case.
You know, anybody who wears the badge, you know, we always hold ourselves to a higher standard. So, you know, we would hope for the best, but at the same time, you know, the state of New York has this case, and if they can prove it, well then, you know, it would be disappointing for us.
Deputies are holding Hurtado in jail without bond until authorities from New York come here and pick him up. And there is one other Bay Area individual involved in this complaint. We don't know a lot about him, although we do know he lives in Hillsborough County. We don't know if authorities there have caught up with him yet. We also do not know if he's a retired police officer or firefighter. Reporting live in Pasco County, I'm Chip Osowski, News Channel 8.
A major cleanup is underway at one elementary school. Coming up next, what forced the temporary closure of several classrooms. Also ahead tonight, a Bay Area couple's problem with Obamacare. They paid their premium, but say they were still turned away at the doctor's office. So they came to 8 on Your Side for some help.
Lots of clouds around the Bay Area today. At least it was a warmer day, and certainly no freeze warnings for the upcoming night. We have rain chances and lots of clouds around. We'll talk about those details coming up.
If you don't find the way to watch New Sean Saves the World on Michael J. Fox on Thursday, there could be consequences.
You know what I'm saying? There's a stuffed horse's head on my chair.
So, we'll see you Thursday.
You know what I'm saying?
New Sean and Golden Globe nominee Michael J. Fox on NBC.
Tomorrow, after Dr. Oz, flu season is in high gear. More and more cases are being reported every day. With the recent death of a pregnant woman who refused a flu shot, is the vaccine safe? Dr. Jill is here with important information everyone needs to know. Tomorrow at 4.
A cleanup is underway at a Polk County elementary school where maintenance crews discovered mold in more than a half-dozen classrooms. Loftman Oaks Elementary School in Davenport is where this work is being done. Crews found mold in 7 of 8 classrooms in a single building. Teachers and students from those classrooms have been relocated while the cleanup crews disinfect the area. Polk Superintendent says the work is just precautionary.
The message to parents is no, children were never in danger or in some kind of hazard or whatever.
Crews will continue cleanup efforts at Loftman Oaks through Saturday. On Monday, they will conduct air quality tests. District officials expect students should be allowed to return to those classrooms by next Tuesday.
Senator Bill Nelson is once again calling for a federal investigation into problems with Florida's unemployment website. Back in October, the senator asked the U.S. Department of Labor to look into issues with the new system called Connect, which was set up to handle the state's unemployment claims. At the time, the state's Department of Economic Opportunity said unresolved issues with the website would be fixed by late December. But Senator Nelson says some problems still are not resolved, so he's asking the Department of Labor to look into the website again. He wants a response by next Tuesday. As for the state, today it said it is hiring another contractor to help out with the website.
Another government website that has had its share of problems has to do with the Affordable Care Act. One Bay Area couple who signed up online and paid for benefits is still having problems. So they came to Aid on Your Side for some help, and we'll have their story for you coming up next.
Thousands of Floridians signed up for new health insurance under the Affordable Care Act, and we're now seeing some bumps on the way to rolling everything out and getting to see the doctor. Aid on Your Side's Lauren Make shows us one couple struggle to use the insurance they paid for.
Michael and Judith Burlow bought new insurance for 2014. Through the federal exchange under the Affordable Care Act, they picked a plan and paid more than $1,600 for a premium. But so far, they haven't been able to use it.
Do you feel confident at this point that you have insurance coverage?
I have a letter, which we've already tried with one doctor's office with that, and it was not satisfactory to get care.
When we visited their home in Lakewood Ranch, the Burlows said they hadn't gotten insurance cards or policy numbers. And Judith Burlow even had an appointment canceled because of it.
I was supposed to have an appointment to have a dosage of Reclast for my osteoporosis condition.
She says her insurance company, Florida Blue, talked to the doctor's office, but they needed proof she had coverage.
They called me and said, well, we'll have to reschedule this at a later date when you have the necessary documents.
The Burlows understand how it works. Dr. Burlow is a retired physician, but their transition to new insurance has not been smooth, with issues signing up, trying to get a refund for a double billing problem, and then using that new insurance.
What do you think about the fact that you can't go see your doctor?
I'm concerned. I'm concerned. Normally, I'm a very healthy person, but you never know.
Now, Florida Blue declined to do an interview, but told me this morning that the Burlow situation was resolved, which the Burlows said was not the case when I got there today. But a few hours later, they got a phone call saying that their information was being put into the system and the local office would print out cards for them. Well, now they tell me they have temporary cards with an ID number on it, and they have rescheduled Judith Burlow's doctor's appointment. So that's good news for them.
But do we have any idea how many other people may be dealing with the same issue?
You know, we are not really sure how many people this could affect. We have heard from other people who say they're worried about going to their doctor. But, you know, this is really the first person that I have heard of who's been turned away at the doctor's office. I can tell you that Tampa General Hospital says they knew people might not have their cards yet. They've actually been verifying by phone people's coverage. Okay. And Florida Blue says people should have their cards by January 15th.
Okay, well, let's hope that happens. Makes life a little easier for everybody. Yep. Thanks.
Well, this typically is our coldest week of the year, and temperature-wise, it's not too bad. 64 degrees. In fact, our temperatures are going up. That's the view in Winter Haven. January 5th to the 12th, the coldest week of the year, historically anyway. Our winter chill averaging 70 degrees for a high, a low of 51. From this point forward, average temperatures actually climb back up. So this is the week that we bottom out. 55 degrees at 8 a.m. Temperatures don't change too much this evening. Stay fairly flat, largely because we brought the dew points back a little bit. Our higher dew points yesterday running single digits at times. Today, dew points are in the 50s thanks to a northeast wind. That's going to bring in some low-level moisture, bring those numbers higher. It's 57 degrees at Tampa International, 61 degrees in Brandon, 57 at Seminole, 54 in Tarpon Springs, Riverview 64 degrees, 61 in Apollo Beach. Right now across the area, it's Lake Placid at 63, 66 in Sebring, 64 in Northport, 54 at Weeki Wachee, and low 50s in Crystal River, mid 50s Inverness, and also Brooksville. To our north, clouds continue, as you can see down across the south, cold front there. For us, the upper level winds have been bringing in quite a bit of cloudiness throughout the day. Can't rule out the possibility of an evening sprinkle, but it's not widespread. Most of these very, very light rain showers have been across the southern portion of the state of Florida for today. A lot of this not even reaching the ground, but it's on the radar. And again, if you see a few raindrops, you can't freak out about that. RPM forecast computer model says clouds, and looks like will kind of be our legacy the next couple of days with the flow. We have an area of low pressure developing at the surface. Yesterday, kind of trying to pinpoint where that area of low pressure was. Today, it looks like it's going to be to our south and then drift to the northeast. So sprinkles are possible in the morning. We'll watch the movement of that area of low pressure. That will generate a few showers, as you can see here on the map, in the afternoon. Lots of clouds around, too. Can't rule out some clear patches, but clearly clouds will likely be the story. For Friday, morning fog possible, an isolated shower, even warmer. Temperatures jumping into the upper 70s. It doesn't take too long to change things around here in the Sunshine State. For the evening and really overnight, notice the graphic just changed to morning, 55 degrees. Clouds, sprinkles, a light shower, not as cold. A jacket should suffice because we'll end the day at relatively mild levels. Big change from yesterday to today, and the same for tomorrow as well. 74 degrees for a high temperature. Across the country, still some cold numbers certainly on the map. Chicago, Minneapolis, Detroit, 2 in the teens, 19 degrees in Boston. And then for tomorrow, things slowly getting a little bit better for these folks, not the extreme cold they saw here just a couple of days ago. For us, that's not extreme cold, but temperatures actually well above normal. Rain chance 30% for tomorrow. Approaching front for Saturday, about a 40% rain chance there. Behind that front, cooler temperatures for Sunday at 73 degrees. Cooler, meaning temperatures still above normal. And then we stay in the mid-70s Monday, Tuesday, and temperatures drop a bit on Wednesday. So warm's the word now.
Well,
cold was yesterday.
Time.
Yeah, yesterday's news. Thank you.
Yep. Coming up next in sports tonight, another former NFL head coach appears to be ready to join the Bucs coaching staff.
And he was not voted into baseball's Hall of Fame today, but is Tampa's Fred McGriff getting any closer? Sports is next.
Now, the coaching staff under Bucs head coach Lovie Smith already resembles a collection of known names in football. It appears yet another former head coach is headed to the Bucs. San Francisco Chronicle reports that Raiders assistant head coach Tony Sparano, who of course was once the Dolphins head coach, has left the Raiders and will join the Bucs as their offensive line coach. Apparently, it all began when Raiders owner Mark Davis sought to sign assistant coaches to one-year contract extensions. Sparano said, adios. Now we'll see if the Bucs part of that story comes true. Former Bucs offensive coordinator Mike Sullivan interviewed with his old team today, the Giants, for their offensive coordinator position. And at least one Giants player, wide receiver Victor Cruz, is publicly pulling for Sullivan to get that job. The only problem, a number of Giants fans have chimed in telling Cruz to keep quiet. And this spring's NFL draft got a little more interesting with the confirmation that Texas A&M quarterback Johnny Manziel has filed his paperwork to leave school early and enter the draft. The Bucs, remember, have the 7th pick in the first round for now, so get ready for months of wheeling and dealing and speculation about draft picks and quarterbacks. And every great sporting event has a storied legend. Florida State, no different. Turns out that magical final drive by the Seminoles and quarterback Jameis Winston was a sticking point weeks before, when head coach Jimbo Fisher booted Winston out of a practice because he said he was running that 2-minute drill in a selfish fashion. Looks like Jameis learned his lesson. Listen to the coach. All right, 1 year ago, the Baseball Hall of Fame saw no one get voted in by the writers. Now, that shameful day was replaced by today's vote, in which 3 of the modern-day greats easily got in. Greg Maddux, Tom Glavine, Frank Thomas are endeared by many baseball fans. Today, each player cruised past the 75% minimum of votes needed to get in the Hall. Maddux received 97.2% of those votes. Tampa's Luis Gonzalez was also on the ballot for the first time. He did not fare very well, 0.9%. His fellow Jefferson Dragon, Fred McGriff, also saw a drop in percentage down to 11.7%. And I think McGriff just, it's a shame. The guy, he almost had 500 home runs.
Right.
It has all this longevity that the writers talk about, and yet it's getting smaller and smaller, that percentage of the vote. Hate to see that.
Unfortunate. Me too. Yep. All right. Thank you.
Hey, finally tonight, next time you're at the Tampa International Airport, you could win free tickets to a Tampa Bay Lightning home game. The very first winner in that new promotion was presented their ticket by Thunderbug and the Lightning Girls today. One lucky guest per day will be selected at random as they exit the airport parking toll plaza. Isn't that cool?
That's a cool idea.
Sure is. And that's the news for now. Thanks for watching.
NBC Nightly News is coming up next. We're back tonight at 11. We'll look forward to seeing you then. Good night.